Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Shanvi e-learning services and also welcoming you to biology session. Please stay online. So please prepare well. The world of microorganism part 1, part 2. Now we are in the world of microorganism part 2. As we have discussed yesterday, like inventor of ariomycin and vaccine, and about Jonas Salk discovered a vaccine for polio in 1952. Okay, like I told you to visit like primary health centers and by asking them to show any brochure or pamphlets, and I told you to get different types of vaccines of different type of diseases. I hope as it was yesterday, that's why may not complete it, but I hope my children will do that at least today or tomorrow. In next class I will ask you that it is completed or not. So please try to do that. Okay, discuss with your friends. Okay, if possible, if your friends are there near your house, okay, and otherwise you can discuss by making call about polio contamination and its methods of prevention. Okay, so please try to write your findings in the following lines in textbook even, and also told you to collect pamphlet, brochure and pulse polio program and discuss the points which are mentioned in them, which what disease can be controlled by vaccination. If you have chance to visit, please go for the primary health center or any like doctor or sister. Okay, so please try to get that information about the vaccines. So what diseases can be controlled by that, and mention the vaccines also, and what is the scope of the vaccine, and how it was when before the discovery. Okay, clearly discussed yesterday. So here we have activity 4. See, nowadays vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans and other animals from several diseases, because vaccines can prevent the disease. So here, as I told you, like visit a nearby PHC center and collect information about vaccination given to 0 to like born baby to 15 years children's. Meet a doctor or a health worker and ask what type of vaccines are there, which diseases can be prevented through vaccination. When it should be taken, list them out. So by that, you don't think this is homework or something. So if you meet a doctor by visiting the primary health center, you can come to know that what type of diseases are getting prevented by using of what type of vaccines. Then you can come to know that what vaccines we have to avail for small sisters or anybody, or in the further future for your child also. Okay, and so that's why you have to do this activity without miss. Actually, I want to ask you now, but as it is yesterday I have given that activity, that's why I'm giving one more day. In next class, I will ask you, you have to be ready with that at least. Okay, and information. So I will make you unmute and ask you, please we avail that particular information with you in next class. So as you know, already we discussed about the rabies. The rabies. Rabies is nothing but a disease. The dog bite. Rabies was discovered by Louis Pasteur. Louis, Louis Pasteur. Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. Rabies causing virus enters our body through dog bite because through that will enter into our body only if the dog has the same infection. You don't think if normal dog bite you, you may not get the particular infection of that rabies. Which dog is affected with that dog only if bites you will get the rabies. It means after dog bites also don't sit in home simply without visiting doctor visiting primary health center without consulting the doctor. Okay, you can consult but you don't get fear. If that particular dog will have that if particular dog affected that rabies, if the dog bite you, then only you will get that rabies disease. Normal dog you may not get affected for that rabies, but you have to consult the doctor to prevent that infections or something, right? Okay, fine. Discovery of vaccines. See here, Edward Jenner inoculating a vaccine. He keenly observed that the milkmaids who developed cowpox, a serious disease, let us recall once, did not develop the deadly smallpox. He thought that they are developing immunity, which is preventing smallpox, a very dangerous disease, wiping out millions of people in those days. In 1796, Jenner took the fluid from a cowpox pustule on a dairy maid and inoculated an 8-year-old boy with his parents' permission. 6 weeks later, he exposed the boy to smallpox and the boy did not develop. For whom he has given that vaccine, he exposed to the particular smallpox disease, but he did not develop any symptom. He did not get affected with that smallpox. The fluid collected from the cow pustule acted as a vaccine to prevent smallpox. This invention of smallpox vaccine saved millions of people from deadly disease. This proved the way, really great. This proved the way for the discovery of a number of vaccines. Maybe this only showed the way to discover the vaccine for corona even. Okay, because this is the first step. So by that many vaccines have developed, discovered. Now in that way only corona vaccine also going to develop, like discovered. So this provided the way for the discovery of a number of vaccines which prevent us from harmful diseases like corona and all. The word vaccine come from vaka. Vaka means what? Cow. Because it started with that only, and there only we got that way to succeed in discovery of vaccines. Soil microorganisms and soil fertility. After that chapter will complete. So now here we have 6A, 6B, Nostoc Anabina. Nostoc Anabina. About 78% of air around us is nitrogen gas. There may be chance to ask in multiple choice. What is the percentage of nitrogen in air? Like in our atmosphere. So plants need it mainly for synthesizing nutrients, but they cannot make it from the atmosphere directly, as I told you yesterday. So to make the nitrogen directly, there is no chance. That's why they depend on the mediators, like some bacteria will involve to make that nitrogen from the atmosphere directly and fix in the soil. Microorganisms like Rhizobium, Nostoc Anabina, 6A, 6B, Lactobacter, etc. help to provide the essential elements to the plants by absorbing them from atmosphere to form certain compounds and then fixing them into the soil that can be taken up by plants. So plants cannot take directly from the atmosphere that nitrogen which is required to grow. This type of Rhizobium, Nostoc, Anabaena and Azotobacter can help to provide this essential element like nitrogen to plants by absorbing from atmosphere to form certain compounds and then fix them into the soil. From the soil that can be taken up by the plants with the help of roots. Okay, fine. How the nitrogen fixation is going on? Let us know about nitrogen fixation. So collect root nodules. Root nodules, where budupelu? Root nodules. From Leguminaceae family. If you go for the Leguminaceae family beans like that, you will get the root nodules. As shown in the figure number 7, root nodules. Collect root nodules from groundnuts, beans and pea gram, crush them into powder. Take little powder and a glass, slide, add 1 drop of water or oil. Observe it under my compound microscope and discuss with your friends about it. Rhizobium bacteria are present in root nodules. As you know already, this Rhizobium bacteria is a parasite and plant root nodules are plant for the particular plant roots there is some bubble like structure like what that are root nodules. That nodules, with help of that nodules, that plant will give shelter for that particular bacteria. The bacteria will stay in that particular nodules. So here plant is giving shelter for that bacteria, then bacteria is helping to fix the nitrogen in the soil, which help to the plant. So here work like help together. Plant is helping to bacteria to give shelter. Bacteria is helping to plant to give nitrogen element which is required for plant growth and all. So here helping together. So here which is giving shelter, that is considered as a host, HOST. For example, I am facilitating that this I am providing this particular chance to listen this class. That's why I am a host. You are a parasites, just like. Okay, I am facilitating you online class. I am a host. So likewise, here plant is giving shelter in that particular root nodules. So which will give shelter that a particular organism is a host, HOST host. Then this particular bacteria is utilizing that or taking shelter in that this which are utilizing that shelter, that is a parasite, PARASITE, parasite. So both relationship is symbiotic relationship. That is called a symbiosis. SYMBIOSIS, symbiosis, very important. So Rhizobium bacteria are present in root nodules of bean family Leguminaceae. Leguminaceae, spelling LEGUMINACEAE. Leguminaceae, like spelling, okay, but you have to call that Leguminaceae. Rhizobium converts atmosphere nitrogen into nitrates. Rhizobium is converting atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates and storing in roots. Stored in roots. Plant use these stored nitrates. Okay, plant is getting benefited from the bacteria because bacteria is converting that nitrogen from atmosphere to nitrates and storing in roots. Then plant is, instead of that, plant is giving shelter for the bacteria. Okay, plant gives shelter to rhizobium bacteria. They cooperate one another. They cooperate one another. They cooperate one another. Such a cooperative life is called symbiosis. Soil fertility increase in growing legume crops in the fields. Farmers plow crop field along with legumes on the onset of monsoons. I think the microorganisms like fungi and bacteria present in the soil degrade biological waste in the soil into the small compounds. As I told you yesterday, you are throwing dead bodies out, but after some days, are they appearing same? No, those are degrading. Like if you feel that a particular animal is a complex, then because of these microorganisms, the complex material is breaking down into simple. So such that they are degrading, they are decomposing in the soil. Otherwise, just to think how earth total filled with dead bodies without spoiling. Okay, so like that also directly helping that microorganisms to decompose the material, waste materials are degrading the waste materials. Biological waste in the soil into small compounds, some of which are essential for plants, as already we have done by taking two pits or parts, and you have observed already, as I told you, what is BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, BT. Let us recall once BT, very important. BT means Bacillus thuringiensis is the name of the bacterium. It produces a toxin. The toxin which kills pests on plants or crops. The bacterium is used as a biopesticide because we are not using that any chemical, or we are not making any chemical compound in laboratory. We are using that living thing. It produces a toxin which kills pests on plants or crops. The bacterium is used as a biopesticide, which will help to kill the pests. Purugulu, pests nothing but purugulu, pesticides which will kill the pests. In transgenic crop plants, this toxin producing gene was separated from the bacterium and transferred into the crop plants. So this can protect it from pests. For example, BT cotton, as I told you yesterday, please try to get the information from your father if they have touch with agriculture, and otherwise we can call for your relations or family members who will have touch agriculture works, or neighbors. As you just go and collect a wrapper or that cover of that particular seeds from that fertilizers. Okay, BT cotton shows severe impact on plants and animals. Discuss about effect of BT in your class. So there is no class, that's why you have to discuss by making a phone call to your friends or classmates. Okay, fine. See here, yesterday we have discussed already. You have to collect two parts or two pits in one part or in one pit. We have collected that vegetable waste like leaves, dry leaves, or what waste your mother is throwing from kitchen, like after cutting the vegetables, that you have to take in one pit, and in next pit you have to take that covers, wrappers, or plastic materials, and first of all you have to take some loose soil. After that you have to add in one pit this type of vegetable waste, and in one pit covers, wrappers, are like plastic, okay, materials. After that you have to cover it with a loose soil, and daily you have to sprinkle water just to keep a without disturbing that you have to do this sprinkling of water every day, and after 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks after, you have to observe that by removing that top loose soil. It takes 6 weeks, no problem. Don't forget to sprinkle water every day in the morning, and possible you can add evening also. Okay, So here you can observe, is there any change of pit 1 and pit 2, where we have added that vegetable waste and where we have added for the particular pit covers. You can observe some decomposition composition taking place in that pit A, where we have added that vegetable waste. But what about pit 2? There is no decomposition because we have used plastic covers. Okay, so that plastic will take 100 and above years to decompose. That's why don't try to use plastic covers to carry anything. Instead that you have to use natural bags, like which have made with paper and like, okay, like gunny bags nowadays, like stylish bags, natural bags are available in the market even. Okay, so please try to go for that, because as we have done that activity, so every cover like depend on that. So go for that chemically, like in between that particular atom and atom, some bonds will be to prepare the cover. So to break the bond, it will take much time. Then only it will decompose. So because of that reason, between that, to break the, it will take more time to break the bond in between carbon and carbon. So that's why it is taking like nearly 100 years or above. So that's why we have to use paper bags as some natural instead of that plastic covers. And when you go to the market, don't try to use like for different items for each cover. Please try to take that all in one cover, one bag. If it is necessary, please try to use only one cover and fill all. Like what do all think? Like, so however we are paying money, no, that's why we have to ask one cover from that sellers, and they will take for mirchi one cover, they will take for like lady fingers one cover. Even space is there, but also they will ask one cover, right? Instead of that, if you use only one cover, then you indirectly you are a person who are avoiding that using of covers, right? At least in this way, if possible, not possible, you just think of that because you know what is the effect of that. Okay. So children, okay, fine. You might have observed the same thing happening in your own surroundings as well. Microorganisms present in the dead bodies of animals, soil, air, and water act upon waves around us and decompose them. When that will decompose, when that microorganisms will start that breaking down of the complex material into simple. When they will try to take the food, then they will break that complex metal into simple. Then that is a decomposition, that will decompose easily in the soil. They are converted into the simple substances from complex. Thus, our microorganisms help us in cleaning the environment. If that microorganisms not helping that decomposition, if that not decompose the dead bodies, then think how could be the environment if there is no microorganisms like which are involved in the decompose of dead bodies. Think how harmful it is. Okay. But microorganisms are helping in the decomposition of dead bodies, like by making complex too simple. But we social animals, as we social animals, we are making problem for atmosphere by using this type of like dangerous covers and all. See, so that microorganisms are great than us because they are helping as in cleaning the environment, but we are helping that making the environment harm, right? So think and discuss here, what would happen if microorganisms were absent in our surroundings? Microorganisms like several bacteria help in the process of sewage treatment, sewage water, wastewater, nala water. Okay, for that, so you have to please discuss and right, what would happen if microorganisms were absent? I will ask you in next class about that BT and this. So don't feel it is homework, just you think over it and don't try to be absent for next class. However, sir said I will ask you about BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, and what would happen if microorganisms were absent. Let us involve in the discussion. So microorganisms like several bacteria help in the process of sewage treatment. Bacteria are useful in cleaning sewage water. Oil slicks formed due to the leakage of oil from oil tankers, ships in oceans. This kills marine animals like samudram, chepalu, like that. Okay, marine, salt animals, because most of the oils, crude oil, is transported by this way using the ships. So if any leakage, then oil leaks formed due to leakage of oil from oil tankers like ships in oceans. This kills marine animals because this oil can form as like a layer on the water, because it cannot dissolve in water. That's why that oil can form as a layer on the water, and the sufficient oxygen may not supply to the water, and the sufficient oxygen is not dissolved in the water, such that which animals, marine animals, are dependent on that particular, then they may not get proper oxygen, and it causes death also because of shortage of oxygen and light even. Okay, so introducing oil eating bacteria can safeguard aquatic marine animals from oil leak, right? If you introduce oil eating bacteria, then if unfortunately, like accidentally, if oil leaks formed due to leakage of oil, there will be no problem, because that particular bacteria which will eat oil can act as like safeguards for aquatic marine animals, because they will take that oil sleek as a food now. So by that we can prevent that problem. Harmful microorganisms now. Up now we have discussed about helpful microorganisms. Now let us start about harmful microorganisms. How useful microorganisms are there? Likewise, in other hand, harmful microorganisms also there. Now let us learn about some of the microorganisms that are harmful to us. Microorganisms can cause diseases in craft plants, livestock, and in human beings. They also spoil food, clothes, and many other things. Maybe you are very familiar with these harmful microorganisms, because you know very well more than helpful bacteria, right? So diseases, so that's why to know about the harmful microorganisms and their effects, let us know about that and in what way they are affecting, and let us do one activity, diseases causing microorganisms in human beings. Here you will have an activity. Meet a doctor of your locality and ask him about the different types of diseases caused by different microorganisms. Note them down and discuss with your friends. Recall that microorganisms are present everywhere in our surroundings. If you check your hands, in your hands, the thousands of bacteria are present. Microorganisms are present, not only bacteria. That's why don't eat directly without cleaning your hands, because many of microorganisms are there in your hand. So here, recall that microorganisms are present everywhere in our surroundings. Microorganisms which cause diseases are called pathogens. Pathogens are nothing but the microorganisms which causes the diseases. Very important. What are the pathogen, children? The microorganisms which causes the disease. Okay. The microorganisms which causes the diseases is called pathogens. Pathogens. The microorganism which causes the disease is called pathogens. Okay, fine. Pathogens enter into our body through air we breathe, right? Pathogens enter into our body through air we breathe, and water we drink, and food we eat. So here pathogens are entering into our body through air we breathe, through water we drink, through food we eat. So total, this is there in your hands only. If you take care, when you breathe, like by when you go on road by using mask or anything, kerchief, and when you drink water, you just check whether it is good or not, and you just check the food also whether it is healthy food or not, because these are the ways to enter the pathogens which cause the diseases into our body. So here they can also be transmitted by direct contact with infected person, like corona. Okay, are carried through animals or insects. There is a have chance to get directly from the infected person, direct contact with infected person, are carried through animals. Animals means don't think cow and horse like that. Even here, like mosquito also one of the animal, you know. See here in science, there is two groups mainly, plants and animals. That's it. So we like cow, horse, donkey, these mosquitoes, these microorganisms, all are comes under animal category. The plants which can make their own food by the photosynthesis process is plants. Okay, so you don't think okay that only. So these all are except that plants, rest of that all are comes under the animal category. When pigs also, they carried like dengue, I think. Okay, so they will act as like vectors, mediators. See, they can also be transmitted by direct contact with infected person or carried through animals or insects. Ketakal, insects. And you might have observed some of your family members or friends getting cold and cough with a sudden change of weather, right? Maybe this is the right season to get that. You might have observed some of your family members or friends or teachers getting cold and cough with the sudden change of weather. When the infected person sneezes, when the infected person sneezes or please stand line all of you. When the infected person sneezes or cough, the pathogens enter into air from such infected person. You just take corona also. When the infected person sneezes or cough with force air that a particular virus or microbacteria organisms will come out from that from such infected persons and enter into air. Fine. When this air containing pathogens enter into the body of healthy person, when this air containing pathogens enter into the into body of healthy person, he may also cause cold. That may cause a that may cause cold. That may cause a cough. That may cause corona also even. So these type of diseases which spread from infected people to healthy people, like healthy ones, are known as a communicable disease. So corona also communicable disease because this disease is spreading from that infected person to healthy one. Right or not? If you agree this statement, please thumbs up. Come on. Corona also communicable disease, right or not? Yes. Because this is also spreading from infected person to healthy ones. Very good. Kiranmai Sridasyam. Thank you for support. Next, maybe rest of the persons are not supporting this statement, right? Then you show thumbs up. Rohita. Okay, fine. Thank you. Corona is a infected, like communicable disease. Yogendra, thank you. Okay, Yogendra. Then Afia Samrin, thank you. Datri Saiti. Okay, fine. Thank you. Akil, Akila Akil. Okay. Geetika, Gautami. Okay, many are almost all supporting like Gautami, Vamshi, Sri Preeti. Okay, and all are supporting me. Thank you for this statement because if you support this is correct, you also correct because you got the subject perfectly. Okay, Vedant all. Okay, Vaishali also. Okay, many of. Okay, so many are there. That's why. So almost all persons are like Sri Satya also. So children here, this is also communicable disease like corona. Corona is a communicable disease because what is communicable disease? Here we have clearly which spread from infected people to healthy ones. Which spread from infected people to healthy ones. Those are known as communicable diseases. So corona, COVID-19 also one of the communicable disease because the healthy peoples are getting infected from the infected people. Okay. So they spread through air, water, food or through physical contact or infected person of infected person. Okay. They spread through air, water, food or through physical contact of a infected person or his used towels, kerchiefs or in the needles like injection needles and etc. Or through insects like houseflies because they will bite that if they bite infected person to take blood or something again with same proboscis. They are not changing their proboscis right to bite next person. So they are using same proboscis for that biting. So same, that's why that from infected person to then healthy person also like this is carrying by these insects, houseflies and mosquitoes, mostly mosquitoes. And common cold conjunctivitis, kandla kalaka, eye related problem. Common cold conjunctivitis and typhoid and small facts, chicken facts and swine flu and TB, tuberculosis, chikungunya are some of the like COVID-19, corona you have to add and next year maybe that also will be added to this. Okay. So are some of the communicable diseases. Okay. So like Okay, so here common cold, conjunctivitis, kanla kalaka like eye related problems and typhoid, smallpox, chickenpox, swine flu, tuberculosis, TB, chikungunya, or and also COVID-19, corona also somehow like one of the communicable disease. Okay, some insects and animals carry disease causing microorganisms. So here, when this mosquito bites that infected person, so unknowingly this will carry the infected microorganisms from that infected person to healthy person. When it bite the healthy person, then with that proboscis it will be carried to that healthy person, and he also will get affected. Okay, so these type of mediators are called vectors. Like here, mosquito is a vector. Okay. Okay, fine, children. The rest of the topic, let us continue in next class. And thank you. Thank you, Varanda. Don't forget to do that work what I given today. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, all of you. Samrain, Swadi, Sania, Vedant, Afnan. How are you all today? Nidish, are you all fine? Samrain, I was thinking where your sister has gone. She has joined, right? Very good. Okay, are you all fine today? Soya Tamkan. Very good. Give me a smile, all of you. Kiranmai Sridas, what are you searching there? Very good. Okay. So don't forget that your forthcoming examination is on 18th and 19th, and I have given you the syllabus, third unit. And in case of second unit, in the last session, somebody asked me what discourse they had to write. In the second unit, there is a project at the end of the lesson, end of the unit. So that unit can be written, that project can be written as your discourse. Okay, it's a very simple topic. You can go ahead with that. So let me share the screen now. Okay, here we go. 8th class unit been learning in the previous session onwards. So students, the aim of this lesson is to make you understand 100 years back we didn't have enough machines to smooth our life, but nowadays you see using our science and technology, we have invented many machines which eased our life a bit. So if your mother wanted to wash the clothes, so she had to use any physical work. No need, because washing machine is there. If you want to eat some cool items, ice cream or something, you have your refrigerator. So in the improvement that is made in science and technology, is easing our life nowadays. Okay, let's go through the lesson. Already we have finished half part of the lesson, isn't it? So in case of agenda, our introduction, vocabulary, explanation. In case of vocabulary, see here students, here the first word is crinkly. Crinkly, it means with many folds or lines. You can see a book which is crinkly there with many folds and lines. So this is an old book. That's why this book is mentioned as crinkly in the lesson. And the next word is attic. What do you mean by attic? Attic, it means a space just below the roof used as a storeroom. Nowadays, whenever we construct a house, we know that a separate room is there for storing our things. But in the past, the storeroom is different. It is built just below the roof. Just below the roof. In this picture, you can see there is just below the roof. So this is what is called a roof, and just below the roof there is a place, there is a space for keeping your things. You can see some old chairs were placed there, a coat and some other objects. So in the I mean in ancient period, not many, we cannot say this is ancient period. About 50 or 100 years back, we used to keep the storeroom just below the roof. So and we call that room, that storeroom, as attic. So once again, in the previous class, I have explained all this vocabulary, and once again, we will go through because vocabulary is very important for us. Crinkly, it means with many folds or lines. I have shown you the picture awfully, very badly or unpleasantly. She behaved awfully. She behaved very badly or unpleasantly. Million, it means 10 lakhs. I have $1,000,000. It means I have 10 lakh rupees. Telebooks, it means books seen or read on a television or a computer screen. So the book which appears, which is there in a computer, can be called as a telebook. Nowadays, in many foreign countries, they are going ahead with the telebooks instead of these kind of printed books. Attic, a space just below the roof used as a storeroom. That picture also I had shown. Scornful, it means the contemptuous. Think something is worthless. She is scornful. It means that she thinks something is worthless. She's slot, a given space, time or position. In our computer, we have a slot for keeping our pen drives, isn't it? Slot, it means a given space, time or position. In our computers, in laptop, whether it is a laptop or desktop, we have slots there to keep our pen drive. Patted, it means hit repeatedly. Usually when your mother shows you a lot of affection, she usually hit your head like this. So this is what is called patted. Disappointed, upset. This is a very common word. You all know the meaning. Geared, it means adjusted to a particular standard or level. We already knew that Margie's computer, the mechanical teacher, was not adjusted to her level. Later, the county inspector had come and he adjusted the mechanical teacher to a particular standard or level. That's why she can read her geography lessons in a well manner. Loftily, it means in a superior way. She looked loftily. It means that she looked at her in a superior manner. It means that you may be thinking that the other person is not important as you are. Regular teacher. Here in this passage, the regular teacher, it means a mechanical teacher which appears on a computer screen. Betcha, I am sure. I betcha, it means I am sure, or I bet you. So this is not bet beaten. So this is another bet, cricket bet you might have heard. Dispute, it means the disagree with. A small quarrel can be called as a dispute. You disagree with your friend's statement. There we come to know about dispute. Screamed, gave a loud cry, screamed. So when you see a ghost or an evil spirit, you usually scream. Scream, it means giving a loud cry. Probably, likely to happen. So there is a probability for raining today. So likely to happen. There is a chance. Nonchalantly. So another good word here. Nonchalantly. You might be seeing this word for the first time. Am I correct? Nonchalantly. Not showing much interest. She studied her lessons nonchalantly. She studied her lessons not showing much interest. Beneath. What do you mean by beneath? Beneath, it means below or under. Mechanical, connected with machines operated by power. And in the previous session, I didn't explain about the author. So the author of this passage or this lesson is Isaac Asimov. 1920, 1992. He was an American author best known for his science fiction. He was a professor of biochemistry at Boston University in America. He is considered the master of science fiction. So what do you know about fictional stories? It means it is not realistic. So it is a kind of imaginary stories. You might have seen the movies like Godzilla, Jurassic Park. So they are all fiction movies, science fiction movies. So they don't have any touch with the reality. Most of his works explain scientific concepts in a historical way. He worked as the president of AHA. AHA, it means American Humanist Association. So he was a humanist. He considers his fellow beings as his brother or sister. He earned a credit on Star Trek, a movie on science fiction. His famous works are the Foundation series, the Robot series, and the Galactic Empire series. So you might have seen the movie Star Trek, which is especially filmed for the small kids. Nowadays, you may be knowing a lot of things about Avengers, Harry Potter, and all. Star Trek is also one kind of a movie that is especially made for the kids to watch. So if you get a time, go and watch this movie. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead with our lesson. So the first paragraph which is given here is already learned in the previous session. Just let me read that paragraph once again. The inspector had smiled and patted Maggie's head after he had finished. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quickly." So after repairing that mechanical teacher, the county inspector said that it is not Margie's fault. Actually, Margie is just 11 years old, but the syllabus was for 12 years or 13 years. Will you be able to learn if you had given 10th syllabus? No, it's not possible. That's why here it is not the fault of Maggie. So the county inspector had adjusted the mechanical teacher's level to a particular standard so that Margie could understand the lessons very easily. Those things happen sometimes. Sometimes it happens. I have slowed it up to an average 10-year level. So I have slowed it up. I have slowed the mechanical teacher up to an average 10-year level so that Margie can easily go ahead with her lessons. If I am giving you a lot of work to do, will you be able to do that? No. If I am giving you some homework which is given to the 10th class students to 8th class or 9th class students, will they be able to do? No. They are not even able to understand the concept of the homework that I gave. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory. So the Margie's progress is very satisfactory, and he patted Margie's head again. From this, we can understand that in the beginning, we have learned that Margie was not performing well in geography. But now we understood that it is not Margie's problem. It is the problem with the mechanical teacher. The mechanical teacher's adjustment was just a little ahead of Margie's level. That's why Margie was disappointed. Why Margie was disappointed? Margie thought that as the mechanical teacher is not performing well, they are going to remove mechanical teacher. But the county inspector, he came and repaired the mechanical teacher, and she had to learn her lessons from now on. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. She thought that the mechanical teacher would be removed. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. Once there was a problem with the history sector. A history mechanical teacher of Tommy, they removed the teacher for almost 1 month. So Tommy could enjoy that 1 month without studying anything. So Tommy didn't want to study history during those days. So Margie also hoped that if the mechanical teacher is away for 1 month, if they remove the mechanical teacher for 1 month, she could also be happy. She didn't want to attend the geography classes so that she could enjoy her time. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" So they are coming back to the old book they got. So in that old book, what was the content of that old book? The old book was about school. Why would anyone write about school? She asked to Tommy, and already we know that Margie hates school. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. Tommy feels that he is superior to Margie. A lot of people are like that only. They have superiority complex. They think that other persons are not worthy, superiority complex. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes because it's not our kind of school. So our kind of school, It means Tommy and Margie had a separate school. Like the school is in their home only. A room in the home is arranged as a school. So there will be a computer screen and the mechanical teacher will appear on the screen and teach. But now it is against our perception, isn't it? In our case, school, it means there is a very big building. All the children from the villages, they come to the school and study. But in case of Margie and Tommy, the school, the concept of school is entirely different. In a home, in their home, there is a room. That room can be called as the school. So that's why Margie asked, why would anyone write about a school? What's the need of writing about school? I hate school. Because it's not our kind of school. Tommy said that, stupid. And Tommy also called her stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. In this book, it is written about an old kind of school which they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He added loftily. Loftily, it means again with superior eyes, pronouncing the word carefully, centuries ago. Centuries ago. Centuries, it means hundreds of years back. Margie was hurt. When Tommy called her stupid, Margie was hurt. Hey, why did you call me stupid? Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulders for a while. Then she said, anyway, they had a teacher. Then Margie says that, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while. Then she said, anyway, they had a teacher. So she might have read a sentence from the notebook, seeing the book over the shoulder of Tommy. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man. So this is very surprising to them. In our schools, what happens? Your teachers are coming to the school. Human teachers are coming to your school and teaching. Can you imagine a world where robots are coming to your school and teaching? Where you are sitting at your home in a room and the mechanical teacher is teaching? Which one would you prefer? You would prefer that the human teachers are teaching you, isn't it? If a robot or sitting at your home's comfort, if you're sitting in a room and learning the lesson from a mechanical teacher, there is no friends, there is no human teacher, it will be very boring. Can this mechanical teacher show love and affection towards the student? It is not possible. Can a robot teacher show love and affection towards the students? Won't. You won't get it. So only a human teacher can show love and affection towards you. See, this is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He had loftily pronouncing the word carefully centuries ago. Okay, that we had finished. Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while. Then she said, anyway, they had a teacher. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man. They got surprised when they heard that a human teacher taught in the past. A man, how could a man be a teacher? Then Margie asked, a man, how could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. So in nowadays, what happens in our schools? So the teacher comes to the school. He just told the boys and girls things and teaches them and gave them homework. In your school, the teachers are giving you homework, isn't it? And asked them questions, usually after the end of the session. Maybe in a period, it means 45 minutes. After 40 minutes, the teachers will stop teaching the lesson and they will ask you questions. But when Margie and Tommy studies, the questions were not asked. They were given only homework and they have to complete the homework using punch code and insert it in the slot which is assigned to them. Then a man isn't smart enough. A man isn't smart enough. Do you think that the computer or the mechanical teacher is better than a human being? A human teacher? No, we cannot say. Sure he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. But here, Tommy says that sure he is. A man is smart enough. Who says? Tommy says. My father, Tommy's father, knows as much as my teacher. So the computer knowledge and my father's knowledge is equal. Who says? Tommy says. He knows almost as much. I betcha. I am sure, there is no doubt. Whatever my mechanical teacher knows, my father also knows the same. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. Margie doesn't want to make an argument there, dispute her, disagree with her. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Margie thought that in Margie's perception, in Margie's line of thought, a teacher, it means a human teacher, it means that teacher will come to her home and teach. That's why she said that I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Then Tommy screamed with laughter. Then Tommy started laughing loudly. You don't know much, Margie. You don't know anything, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. The teachers didn't live in the house. They don't come to your house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. So now we have a special building named as school, isn't it? They had a special building and all the kids went there. All the kids are coming to school. But in the past, not in the past, in the future, the thing will be entirely different. Like Margie and Tommy, you should be sitting at your home's comfort and you should be learning the lessons from the mechanical teacher. So there is no friends. There are no friends you can talk with. There are no human teachers. So will you be able to read your lessons or learn your lessons properly if there is no human teacher to teach you? May not be. May not be. See, they had a special building and all the kids went there. Like our school, we have a special building named as school and all the kids are coming to school to learn. And all the kids learned the same thing. So this is another important thing. All the kids are learning the same thing. In a school, in a class, there may be 35 members. The teacher is coming and teaching in a different manner to each and everyone. No. All the students, the same lesson is being taught. The same lesson is being taught. But in case of mechanical teacher, when Margie learns the first lesson, quickly she will go to the second lesson, third lesson, fourth lesson, fifth lesson. But here it is not possible. In a school that we are having there, it is not possible. The first rank holder and the last rank holder, they are learning the same lesson every day. Maybe the first rank holder might have studied the first lesson completely. Teacher will go quickly to the second lesson. No, the teacher will wait until the last rank holder also understands the concept. But in case of mechanical teacher, the system is different. Once you learn your lessons well, suddenly you can go to the next level. Because the mechanical teacher doesn't want to wait for any others. When Margie studied, the other lesson will be taught. Okay, Tommy screamed. They had a special building and all the kids went there. And all the kids learned the same thing. Sure, if they were the same age. If they were the same age, maybe you are at the age of 13 or 14. So your friends are also at the age of 13 or 14. That's why you are sitting in 8th class. When you're moving to 14 years, when you're moving to 15 years, are you all being placed again in 8th class? No, you will be promoted to 9th class and 10th class. So the same age children, they all are sitting in one classroom and studying the same topic, the same lessons, the same subjects. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. But my mother says, what her mother says, a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently. So this is another important concept. In case of the first rank holder, the methods a teacher adopts to teach her should be different in case of the last rank holder, isn't it? The first rank holder, when the teacher explains the lesson one time, she may be able to understand the full concept. What about the second rank holder, third, fourth, fifth, 30, 40, 40th rank holders? Will they be able to understand the concept well when the teacher teaches the first time? No. So the teacher had to revise again and again tell that lessons to make all the student understand the lesson. So the methods that teachers should be adopting should be different to each and every student. Just the same, they didn't do it that way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. Just the same, they didn't do it that way then. In the past, the system was entirely different from our system. If you don't like it, if you don't like the old school system, you don't have to read the book. Just close it, go home. Who said? Tommy said. Then Margie. I didn't say I didn't like it. Margie said quickly. She wanted to read about those funny schools. Actually, Margie wanted to read about those funny schools. So we know that what happens now. In our cases, in the morning we get ready and we are moving towards the school. On the way, your friends will also join with you. You may be chatting. You are coming to school. You are sitting with your friends. You are learning the same things. And during lunch break, you are chatting a lot, you are eating your food, you are sharing your food. Is that all happening in case of Margie and Tommy? Nothing is happening. There is no socializing. Margie sits at her home and learns something. But in your case, you are enjoying your childhood days. In the future, the students, the kids, they may not enjoy their schooling. But in case of you are getting all the better things in your life now. You are enjoying your days with your friends, your families, your human teachers. In the future, the kids' life will entirely be different. Sitting at home and sitting in a room, the mechanical teacher teaches you and you look here and there. Is there any friends? No friends at all. Getting bored. If you want to get a help from your friend, no friend to help you. See, they weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called her. Margie, school. They didn't even complete the reading of the notebook. Then Margie's mother called. Margie, this is the time for school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. The time has not arrived. Again, some more minutes remaining. Now, said Mrs. Jones. And it is probably time for Tommy too. Tommy, your time also has arrived to attend the classroom. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Margie wanted to know more about the past schools. So Margie asked, can I read the book some more with you after the school? Maybe, he said nonchalantly. Maybe. Who said? Tommy said nonchalantly without showing much interest. He walked away whistling. You know what is called whistling? You may be making a sound with your mouth, especially when you go to a movie theater. When you watch your favorite star Allu Arjun's movie, first day, first show, a lot of people will whistle, isn't it? Like that, Tommy also left the room whistling. He walked away whistling, the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. The dusty old book which he had got from the attic, tucked, hid or concealed beneath his arm. Margie went into the schoolroom. Then Margie, she went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom. So her schoolroom, it means there is a room in her house itself. It was right next to her bedroom. First bedroom, after that one another room is there. That room is considered to be her school. And the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. When she entered the room, the mechanical teacher is already present there. And she was waiting for her. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. It was always on at the same time. So if the fixed time is 12 o'clock, usually the mechanical teacher present at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. In India, not only in India, in many countries, they have school classes only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They are getting holidays on Saturday and Sunday. In our state, it is different. We have classes on Saturday as well, isn't it? In many of the states, we have classes only 5 days in a week. But here, we have 6 days. So see, it was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. Margie doesn't have school on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, she could play a lot. So she could enjoy her, school holidays. Because your mother said little girls learned better if they learned at regular hours. If you do your work regular hours every day, it would be better. Having your breakfast exactly at 7 o'clock, doing your homework exactly at 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, getting up exactly at 4:30. So these all things, if you do regularly, it would be much better. Who says? Margie's mother says. Because your mother said little girls learned better if they learned at regular hours. The screen was lit up and it said, today's arithmetic lesson is on addition of proper fractions. So today, Margie, what is she going to learn? She is going to learn arithmetic lesson. Maths is on the addition of proper fractions. So do you like fractions? I don't know whether you like fractions or not, but I hate. Today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. So there was a slot for keeping her homework. So the mechanical teacher asked her to keep the yesterday's homework in the proper slot. And we already knew that Margie hate doing homework. We all hate doing homework, isn't it? Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. Still, she was thinking about that book, the lines that she had read from that book. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. When her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy, he used to go to the school along with his friends and studied his lessons. So those were very enjoyable days. But now, is Margie getting any chance to enjoy? No. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the classroom, going home together at the end of the day. Oh, what a marvelous days those were, isn't it? All the kids from the whole neighborhood. So you are going to school along with your friends, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard. When you reach the schoolyard, you will be laughing, you will be shouting, you will be chatting, sitting together in the schoolroom, in a classroom. There may be 30 to 40 members, and speaking with the children, chatting with your friends, going home together at the end of the day. After the school, you are going home with your friends. So these are all very enjoyable matters. So they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. One another thing that they can do is they could help one another. If one had a doubt, the other friend will help her. That's why they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. And the teachers were pupils. This is the most interesting thing for Margie. The teachers were humans. In case of Margie, it was a mechanical teacher. She had a mechanical teacher. But in the past, her grandfather's grandfather had teachers who were pupils, who were humans. Then the mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. When we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, so her lessons had started. The mechanical teacher started teaching her the lesson. When we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. Now Margie understood that the teaching in the past, when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy, it was much better than the school that she had at present. She loved the way they used to study in the past. She hated the way she is studying now. She was thinking about the fun they had. She was thinking about the fun they had. What did they refer here? It means the pupil in the past, maybe her grandfather's grandfather. Grandfathers. Okay, this is the lesson which is written by Isaac Asimov. So in the future, we may not have the schools like that you have at present. In the future, your grandchildren, they may be sitting in a small room and studying the things there on looking at the mechanical teacher. Robot teachers. Maybe instead of these kind of printed books, you will be given laptops or tablets to write your homework, to read your lessons. So as science and technology improves, a lot of improvements will be happening in the life of human beings as well. Maybe after 100 years, students don't need to carry a lot of books with them. Only a small computer is enough for them to carry to the school. They didn't even want to come to the school, maybe, isn't it? Okay, this is all about the lesson. And dear students, as I said you earlier, day after tomorrow, I think within 2 or 3 days, your exams will start. So the syllabus, once again, I am reminding you, the syllabus is third unit, A, B, and C reading. Just let me tell you the lesson names. Third unit, humanity, the selfish giant part 1, the selfish giant part 2, and the garden within, a small poem. So you will be having 20 multiple choice questions, and I hope everyone will perform well. Okay. Okay, that's all for today, and thank you all. Have a great day.